Ladies and gentlemen, to those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the Madhouse.
Welcome to the Madhouse. My name is Jimmy. That's Joey. This week we find ourselves enlisting in a horror rehab, aka the horror hospital. But first, how you doing, man?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, lovely.
So, you had to watch this film twice as well, same as me?
Yep, absolutely, of course.
It's Horror Hospital, 1973, director Anthony Belch, on a budget of about 50 grand, from what I can gather from differing reports online.
What did he do with that 50 grand?
I think they had a piss up
Must
and
have.
bought some fake blood.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was his first horror film, I think, as well, wasn't it? He did a bit of artsy stuff.
Yeah, and one of the producers said it was the best time he'd ever had making a film, and that's where I think the money went, just to like a pile of coke.
Yeah, 70s, loving it.
So, are we going to do a plot slot?
Yes. I think, yeah. We'll get it out of the way. I've not put my notes where I need them.
Alright, well, I haven't got the timer ready, so we're both incompetent. Okay, got the timer ready. Your notes ready?
How do I know it's ready?
Are your notes ready?
Oh, are my notes ready? Yes, they're ready.
Okay. You going to start this off?
Yeah, go on then,
Okay,
I'll do it.
go.
Okay. Mysterious black limo with an equally mysterious duo seated within. One in an interesting feathered hat, and another, he's a little chap, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Frederick.
Yeah, Fred.
Sat there nicely waiting for two bloody 70s teens fleeing with bandages on their head and a lovely lot of blood, running through the woods, only to be chased down and beheaded by a kitted up Bentley with a knife on it.
Yeah, that's pretty swish.
Yep.
Pops their head straight in a bag.
Yep. Kind of relies on everyone being the same height in order to actually chop the head off.
That's true,
every
yes.
time. But
yeah, I think we'll get to that.
yeah, we will. Fred has a lovely time poking the head in a bag.
Yeah, so we cut to a interesting... well, actually, I think it's a normal show in the 70s, and we meet Jason Jones... we see this band playing a gig, it's terrible, and then we meet Jason, and he claims that the band have stolen his song, and so he quickly voices that, and he gets punched in the nose by the transvestite lead singer.
Yep. So he disappears about a table over, because it's safer over there, and he takes his bloody nose over, and the advice of his friends is to get away for a few days. He says, have you been on the coke again, Jason? There's some brilliant acting there. I don't know where the Oscar was for that, man.
Mental, I know. I don't know how that won anything.
So he takes his bloody nose and the advice of his friends in search of Harry Holidays.
Well, yeah, he sees it in the back of the paper, doesn't he? Pops off down to Hairy Holidays. Doesn't look like a class establishment. But
looks like the cheapest office they could rent for the film.
Absolutely. And Hairy Holidays is run by a shifty homosexual travel agent, Pollock, played by the great Dennis Price.
Yep. After failing to chat up Jason after seeing the massive bulge in his pants, which we get a nice close-up of, Pollock sends him to a pseudo-health farm, Brittlehurst Manor. On the train journey there, Jason meets Judy and commences the best acting I've seen in my life. She's travelling to the same destination to meet her long-lost aunt and shares or what would you say, a lot of more info than you
Far
usually
too
would.
much info that you give out to a stranger. She gives him an apple and a bit of cheese.
An apple.
An apple and a bit of cheese.
She says apple.
Apple.
Anyway,
Apple.
we'll get into all this later. Both of them are unaware that the health farm is a front for Dr. Storm and his lobotomy experiments.
Yeah, after failing to be picked up, the pair decide to walk it. But at that point, the creepy train guard informs the manor about Judy and Jason. It rains. They take shelter underneath. Possibly could have done something better to get out of the rain. Never mind. And then a couple of zombie bikers arrive and pick them up.
Yeah, so this wheelchair-bound doctor surrounds himself with an entourage that includes Judy's aunt, erstwhile brothel madam Olga, played by Ellen Pollock, the dwarf Frederick, and numerous zombie biker thugs. Dr. Storm also has a Rolls-Royce car we've already talked about with that giant blade that cuts the conveniently all the same height escapees.
Yeah.
Cuts their heads off.
Right, so they get checked in by Olga, who's a bit miffed that her niece has arrived. Anyway, and they get
Heartless
shown.
bitch.
Yeah, definitely. They get shown to their room by Skip, and as they go, they witness like a bloody stained bed in one of the rooms.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
And I would have left. But
I would have left.
They didn't.
They-
Anyway,
yeah.
so they're in their room bit, and you'll notice you've written 70s free love bit, which means to me, a little bit rapey scene.
I don't know.
Actually, this isn't. It's later on.
Yeah, she just gets undressed with this complete stranger. He follows her into the bathroom while she's having a shower. She's totally nutty.
Yeah, and he's got like a knight's
helmet
on. Yeah, that's the one.
They start giving it a bit.
And they start kissing and getting on with it. And she's like, "Well, we're supposed to be here to getting healthy." And he's, you know what's healthy? Sex.
There you go. That was the 70s. That's why it's the 70s free love bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it goes to the hippie zombie dinner. One chick freaks out. It's carried off by the bikers. Millie, she's off.
Yep. So they decide they've had enough of this shit, and they go back up to their room where he starts trying to have sex with her again.
Yeah.
In fact, they are about to have sex when the tap runs with blood. Why did he go to the tap to get water?
Wash his hands, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's done it. Washed his hands, innit?
Yeah, right. They're having a bit of a wash off, the after wash,
Yeah.
and blood starts streaming out of the tap, and Dr. Storm is then magically at the door.
Gets wheeled in.
Yeah.
And he twats Skip right in the face. Which, why did he do that?
Because he was meant to have posted the letter telling Judy not to come.
Oh, yes. And we find out that the taps are running red because Skip's keeping the heads upstairs in the water tanks going right in the cistern.
Or something
Tank,
like that,
water
yeah.
tank. Anyway,
I have
going
to-
into the hotel's shit, whatever it is. Hospital.
Yeah, it's not a hospital. I just want to say that now. It says horror hospital. They came up with a title before they wrote the script, and it's a rehab place. It was supposed to be a holiday at the beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah. It's taking a right turn.
Anyway, yeah. So Jason goes to look for a way out. He has a bit of a recce. Sees bikers carry Millie into a locked room. Judy stumbles upon the hippie zombies while looking for Jason and does some scream acting.
Yeah, she freaks out. Ah! A lot of that.
And then some, yeah. And then, but Pollock arrives.
Demanding more cash, trying to blackmail this whole operation. She gives him cash. He leaves in a very jolly, I'm going to say it, gay manner.
Yeah, they really kind of up the gayness.
Massively.
Campness, really.
If there's ever if I'm going to say mincing,
Yeah.
he literally minces out of that.
The next
waffle.
level would have been him skipping in a tutu towards the fence.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not that there's anything wrong with doing that, if that's what you want to
Absolutely
do.
not.
I'm just
You
saying,
do what you
70s, they made it out to be a bit of a... mincing is the word they would have used while making this. We want you to mince towards that fence.
Yes. Anyway, he gets his melon lobbed off by the car.
Yes.
Jason's seeing it from the window as well.
Yeah, with a wonderful zoom-in shot. Anyway, Dr. Storm arrives at Jason's room and takes him down to the gym to show him the brainwashed, super strong, athletic zombies controlled by a computer. Jason spies Judy locked in a cage, drugged, ready for the operation, in air quotes.
Thanks, yes. So, Jason legs it. He's chased down by the bikers, running through the woods, trying to get away. He has a fight with them, knocks one of them into some quicksand, but then he's captured, dragged back to the manor, locked up and gassed.
So Storm performs the operation on Millie when Olga starts to get cold feet.
So, Abraham rocks up at the horror hospital.
Who's Abraham, you ask?
Exactly. Well, he's here looking for his chick.
Who was Millie?
He's promptly whacked around the head by the motorcycle zombies, chucked in the cell with Jason. While Olga is packing to leave, she's attacked by some strange-looking melty face man.
Yep, Frederick, fed up at literally being Storm's whipping boy, helps the kids escape. They get Judy, but it's too late for Millie.
Baby.
Millie baby. It's too late for Millie baby, or it's too late for Millie baby?
Too late for Millie, baby.
Okay. Storm tells his story about his experiments and how he was burnt in a fire.
Locked in their room. Again, the boys escape with the help of Fred. Again. But Fred then dies, falling downstairs. He's got little legs.
Oh, they then rescue Judy and they trash Storm's lab, which somehow sets the whole house on fire, by the way. We'll get to that later. And they find Olga dead.
In the next room, they find the empty wheelchair and a strange mask of Storm's face and a melty face man being gross with Millie Baby.
Yeah. Wait, is that being gross with Millie Baby or being gross with Millie Baby?
Being gross with Millie Baby.
Anyway, so they chase him, don't they?
They chase him
Yeah,
out.
and they cut him down with a limo. He loses his head. His body falls into the bog. Yeah, the quicksand.
Yeah, slash
and then
quicksand.
they chuck the head back in after him, and at the end of the film, you see him re-emerging from the bog.
There you go.
And we did it in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah!
Just did it by less than 10 minutes, which is actually how long they spent making this film.
Yeah, I didn't write the proper end bit because it annoyed me so much, and we'll talk about that
Okay, yeah.
in a bit.
Still part of the film, though.
It is, but I was like, nah, I'm going to save it, and we'll talk about it later.
Okay. So, plot slot 1, we've done it twice now, where we've managed to actually do the plot slot.
Not too shabby.
To celebrate, we're going to take a nice little musical stroll like Abraham, and we're going to end up at Frights and Delights.
Well, we're going to go looking for our chicks.
Baby. Wait, is that... Well, we'll see you there.
Right, here we go with Frights and Delights. So, go on, give us one.
Alright, well, one delight I have, although the band was crap, the band at the beginning is an actual band called Mystic. They're the ones playing at the beginning of the film that nicked his song. A real band called Tangerine Peel. They're a 60s psychedelic band. The only person on stage who was not a member of that band was the trans man who punched Jason.
Trans man?
Who is the trans man.
Trans man? Right, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
He was, well, I think we call him a trans man these days. Probably call him a cross-dresser in the... Anyway, either way, that dude is dressed as a lady at the beginning. He's laying down. They got a fight with Jason because Jason called him a faggot after accusing him of nicking his song.
Oh.
He was called Alan Watson, who was actually a co-writer on the film, not a member of that band. But that was a genuine band somehow.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they weren't great.
Okay. I've got a lovely little delight, and it's got a couple. It's got a few actually. It's props to Skip Martin, who plays Frederick in this.
Yeah.
It's got some great lines throughout. I think brilliant. But my favourite bit is where he's he drugs the guards to get Jason and Abraham out. He's faffing around for a bit. He can't reach a lot because he's height impaired. So he stacks up the guards. But it takes him a little while, and he stacks up the guards, stands on them, gets the lock open. I think that's a lovely little bit.
That's amazing. And when you say it takes him a little bit, I think they had that in the script, and I realised this guy can't move these massive guys they've hired to be the thugs.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you see them literally moving their own weight for him. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that bit. That was great.
Also, when he says to them when they're checking in, and he goes, he asks them if they're runaways.
Yeah.
And then halfway up the stairs, then he goes, "We had a few runaways this morning."
He's so dry with it as well, isn't he? I can't tell if it was purposeful or not.
Yeah, obviously referring to the 2 runaways at the start who got their heads lopped off.
Yeah, sorry. This is one of the ones I'm doing under the assumption people may not have seen it. Okay, a little delight, if I may. The script was written for Robin Asquith and Michael. Is it Go or Goth? Would you say?
I would say
Another one of our name mess ups here.
I would say Goth.
Okay, we'll go with Goth. We'll just say Goth all the way through. Anyway,
yeah.
Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred. Pennyworth.
Yeah, so the script was written for them. The building that was used for exterior shots was the previous home of Edward George Bulwer Lytton, who was a writer and a conservative politician who died in 1873, which is coincidentally 100 years before the film was released, in 1973. He was the author of The Last Days of Pompeii, which is a famous book.
Oh, okay. I'm going to come at you with another delight. What are they drinking in this whole thing?
The green shit.
Because it's clearly absinthe.
It does look like absinthe.
I think it's absinthe. Yeah, I think that's my delight. Throughout it, I just wanted an absinthe.
Is that a delight? I mean,
it's a delight for me.
It was water with food colouring in it.
No, it had to be absinthe. It was the 70s. Free love. Pop some of that absinthe.
You think it was actually absinthe, or it was just meant to be absinthe?
No, I think it actually was absinthe.
Well, I hope it was. It explains a lot of decisions.
Yeah, Fred comes up to Jason with a tray of absinthe and boiled eggs for breakfast. I would love that.
All right.
That's my dream breakfast.
Well, I'm crashing it tonight, so let's go find some absinthe. And we'll
I tried. They haven't got it over the shop.
Oh, okay. That shop's got everything.
I know, it doesn't have any absinthe. I went in there and I said, "Have you got any absinthe?" And she went, "Absolute." I went, "Absinthe." She went, "Absolute vodka." No, absinthe. Absolute.
I think this is the 70s.
Do you know what? I ended up buying the Absolute.
Did you? Just too embarrassed to go. No, it doesn't matter.
It went on for a long time. Bless her.
So it took 4 weeks to shoot the film. That's not a shock?
Fuck that
actually,
long.
It feels like it took them a long time. But when you're drinking that much absinthe and all that coke they spent the 50 grand on.
Yeah, Christ.
It was probably, we'll start at this date, but then it was really, when you leave like your homework till the last night.
Yes.
I think they had actually 3 days of that 4 weeks at the end where they were like, oh shit, we actually got to make a film and explain where this money went.
Oh, I've got another quick... Oh, sorry, you still going?
No, you go.
Go on.
No, because I was done with that one.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to hold the mic.
Another delight. There's a lot of delights in this, considering I think we were going to rip this apart.
Oh, we're building up to it.
Oh, okay. The bit where Robin Asquith runs through the kitchen and grabs the pie and eats it while they're escaping.
Yeah.
That was all him. He just wanted to... he thought that was a good idea to do. Improvised it on the moment.
Yeah.
You would, because he was probably starving. He's been there, 2 days?
He's been drinking absinthe for bloody ages as well.
That's cool. It makes you more alert as well, absinthe.
Yeah. Does it?
Yeah, it does.
You're looking pretty alert tonight. You sure it was absolute? Yeah, I also saw that Robin Asquith did all his own stunts, and I'm like, well, yeah, he had to fall over a few times. I think that's something that Robin Asquith went and put on his own wiki and all the other websites, just adding his own edits. A Fright. Horror Hospital was the last movie that Dennis Price ever acted in before his death at just 58 years old.
Oh dear, what did he die of?
Heart failure.
Oh.
Yeah. It was not his last film to be released.
Sorry, that was me.
I thought someone had just rang like a church bell. 3 films were released after Horror Hospital that he was in. The Erotic Rites of Frankenstein in 1973. He was Dr. Frankenstein. Quartier des Femmes in 1974. He played l'avocat Lyonzé.
These sound naughty. Are
And
they a bit naughty?
Son of Dracula in 1974 as Van
That's
Helsing.
not naughty.
I've not seen them, but...
The first
Well,
two...
The Erotic Rites of Frankenstein, there's no getting around that that's some sort of porno.
I would say porno. I'd say it's a little bit risque.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of baps.
Other notable films he were in throughout his career, and I just picked ones I'd heard of, because that makes them notable to me, was Go For a Take, 1972 as Dracula, Theatre of Blood, which is a good film
Really good.
with Vincent Price. He was Hector's snipe, and that was in 73 as well.
Our Lord and Saviour, Vincent Price.
The ever-ongoing Master of the Macabre, Vincent Price. The Haunted House of Horror, 1969 as Inspector Bill Bradley.
Is that good? Have you seen that?
Nope.
Right.
But sounds good.
Yeah, it keeps popping up on my list.
It's 60s as well, isn't it? And it's that era of bit of hammer horror. I'm not saying it is a hammer horror specifically, but you know that the feels were out for that at the time.
Yeah. Right. Frights. Oh god, I got some frights. Did you notice? Right. This is going to take some explaining.
There's a few things I noticed, and I think I know which one you were going to pick up on first.
Well, I'm picking up on Jason's flared trousers.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
No.
Okay.
But I noticed he was wearing flared trousers.
He was, because it's the 70s and he's a hippie. He gets on the train, he has no luggage. He has just that horrible little knapsack.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm assuming he's supposed to not have any luggage.
Yeah.
But in various things, I counted at least 3 different flared trousers that he was wearing.
So he was getting changed.
I don't think it was intentional. I think they were supposed to be the same trousers, because it happens like there's a shot where he's running, he's got a patch on his bum.
I think that's blood, and I want to talk about that later. I don't understand why he's bleeding from the arse.
Oh, is it?
I paused.
No, because he has it before he gets on the train.
But
when
what
he's
is
walking
it?
in the
How
train
does it
station,
get there?
he has a patch of something on his trousers at the train station, and then it's gone. And then he has these other trousers that look like they've got different material on the bottom. Could be wet. I don't think it was, because there was no patch on the back of the trousers.
It was red.
On his bum.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I think that was a patch, because that's where it goes. Do you know what I mean?
I
If you
don't
start
know.
getting a fat bum, that's where it's gonna loosen. So
Okay.
that's 2 flares that I've called out there. And then there's another pair of flares that don't have the bottom and don't have the patch on the back.
Okay.
He's wearing 3 different flares, and it's the what's it called? The well, you have to have everything right. In
Continuity.
Continuity.
The continuity.
Continuity. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That he was wearing 3 different pairs of flares.
Okay.
In my head, it's
The one I was going for, I'll talk about later. The one I saw, it stuck out like a sore thumb to me. This isn't even a fright or a delight. It's just a bit of info about Robin Asquith, because he was most famous as Timmy Lee in Confessions' sex comedy series. Also had some stints, and this is a list of English television:
Oh.
EastEnders, Doctors, Hollyoaks, Casualty, Benidorm, and Coronation Street. So he really did the rounds in British television for a while. He returned to Coronation Street on the 11th of December 2013 as Richard DeVries, but I couldn't tell if he was in it for half an hour or if he's still in it now, because I don't watch it.
That's literally, he's done the shittest of the shit telly.
Sorry, I dropped a paper. Yeah, he's picked what's accepted him, I think.
Yeah, well, as you described earlier, he's not a looker. He has got that gormy face.
He's got a punchy, gory face.
Pop him in the Return of the Living Dead remake.
Yeah.
And he'll do a good zombie bin man, wherever it was.
Tarman.
Tarman!
The bin man. Some of my bin man look a bit knackered, but they do come out like 6 in the morning.
True.
You got any more fights or delights?
Not really, I don't think. Just sort of, I think we'll get to some other...
I was going to say, because I've got that train scene, but are we going to get into that anyway?
No, do it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, do it now.
So the train scene.
Train scene.
When Jason gets on the train, it's just so bad. Just the acting and the script. It's terrible. So Jason walks into this carriage, and there's just Judy sat in there on her own. He sits, fucking shit-eating grin on his punchable face, and asks her if her lunch tastes good. He goes, "All right, that tastes good." She says, "It's not bad, thank you." He says, "You're lucky. I didn't have time for any lunch." And he's looking at a lunchbox. This is after we've had a zoom in of her knees to show that she has knees, apparently. Anyway, he's hinting for food. She goes, "Would you like one of these apples?" Which I've never heard anyone say apples like that. I paused it and checked it a few times. She says apples. He grins like a twat again and just starts eating it. Doesn't say thank you, just eats it. She's obviously shy, awkward, wanting to sit on her own. She's going to go and meet a long-lost aunt. And it's this git who's just sat there.
Good word to describe him.
Staring at her with this gormy fucking grin. So she says, well, she's obviously thinking I'm not comfortable. I think I'm going to go. She says, I think I'll go and get a coffee. So she stands up to leave, and his response is, "There's no need to get so uptight about things. I'm not going to rape you." And then there's a cutscene to the train travelling, and she's sitting down again. She says, "I'm sorry." She not fucking apologises for getting out of a situation she feels uncomfortable in with some gits sat there trying to make conversation. I mean, we've all been there, someone trying to make conversation. But he was like, legs akimbo. What? Anyway, she was just going for coffee for herself, get out of a situation, feels uncomfortable, and he calls her out like a dick. What? You're going to go coffee? Don't need to call me a rapist, love. So she sits down and apologises for making a scene, because, it's the 70s, that's what you do then. Then she just starts to tell him a family history. Just not even prompted. It's like, I'm going to this hairy holiday. Oh yes, I'm going there. You see, I had an aunt. Blah, blah, blah. And in an obvious case of explaining the backstory to the viewer, in a storytelling world, there's a thing called showing, not telling. As in, people are smart enough to pick up on... There should have been a better way to do it. This is literally just telling the audience, this is my backstory, without actually taking any clever filmmaking technique of doing it. I'm done for Frights and Delights. That was the scene that I have watched so many times, just showing people going, you will not believe the shit I watched the other day. I'm
just going to chime in there and say, I think she's missed the trick. Because I used to trap, not that I was getting propositioned by gourmet looking gits on trains, but to avoid that...
I think we are the gourmet looking gits on trains.
Well, I'll tell you how you avoid that, because I used to get trains quite a lot, and the way to stop people sitting next to you on the train was you'd sit down in your seat, you'd crack open a couple of cans of cider, and you'd put them on your little fold-down table, and I tell you, the train could be packed to the rafters, but no one will sit next to you, and you can enjoy a lovely little cider.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never gone.
I would come and sit with you.
Yeah, and I've never... Anyone who's ever sat next to me, I've never gone, I'm not going to rape you.
Is that paper good? You're lucky. I didn't have time to buy one. Oh, what a dick.
God, that sandwich looks nice. I'm not going to rape you.
It's not even that. It's not even a packed train. It's an empty carriage he walks into.
Yeah.
And it's just like too... him.
Yeah.
A man is... I don't know what it is about his mouth. I don't want to make fun of someone's appearance, but the way he acts with his mouth...
Excuse me, is the next stop Leamington Spa? I'm not going to rape you.
Yeah, basically. Sorry, do you know what time this train gets into the station? Excuse me, I'm not going to rape you.
Listen, love.
You know when if I sat next to someone and just stood up and moved away, and someone shouted, "Hey, no need to get so uptight. I'm not going to rape you." Do you know what I think?
Go on.
That fucker's going to rape me.
Exactly. Mental.
Anyway. I'm ready to burn this film to the ground. Okay. Should we go on?
Let's do it.
No, it's not the Madhouse, is it?
No, it's Master of the Macabre.
It is.
Macabre.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put the music on.
I'm not going to rape you.
Master of the Macabre.
It's time for the Master of the Macabre.
Whoa, sorry. I totally forgot to enlighten you on some...
What?
on some interesting sort of real life facts about the subjects that were brought up in this documentary film, Horror Hospital.
Oh, good. Okay.
So,
is it lobotomies?
It is not. So,
I'm sure it'll be good, whatever it is.
wow. So, it's about Project MK Ultra.
Okay, good.
Also called the CIA Mind Control Program. It was a code name given to a program of experiments on human subjects that were designed and undertaken by the United States CIA, which were at times illegal. It was experiments on humans who were intended to identify and develop drugs and procedures to be used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through mind control.
And when we say people, if I remember correctly, we're saying black people.
No, it was all types of people.
Oh, was it?
All across.
I might be thinking of something else. Was it LSD?
It was LSD, yes, that was one of the things that they used. The operation was officially sanctioned in 1953, reduced a little bit in 1964, curtailed in 1967, and halted in 1973. It was a lot of illegal stuff. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate people's mental states and alter their brain functions, including the surreptitious administration of drugs, especially LSD and other chemicals, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture.
Lovely.
Basically, to try and... It was false confessions and shit, I think, was what they were doing. Now, have you read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or seen the film?
I've seen the film.
So, it was written by Ken Casey,
Yep.
I think. So, the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, source of inspiration of the counterculture movement, was the first exposed to LSD and other psychedelic drugs as part of the MK Ultra project while still a graduate student at Stanford University. He came to be involved in this study almost by accident, as a neighbour of Casey, a psychologist, signed up for the project but had to back out last minute. He was an athlete, straight-laced, didn't get up to no good, so he'd never done any sort of drug before or even tasted alcohol, and he was training for the 1960s Olympics at the time. And
Bollocks.
yeah, so he went in for this, and he said the testing wasn't being done to try to cure insane people. It was being done to try and make people insane, to weaken people, and to be able to put them under the control of interrogators.
Wow.
That's just a little bit of what MK Ultra were doing. They were... Yeah, they did it to... There was 80 institutes or... over America that participated in these experiments with various people who had no knowledge of it, and were like, yeah, test this and we'll see what happened. And I think he said it, no, I think it was the guy from Grateful Dead who did it when he was a student and said it was the best LSD ever. Like, the government have the best drugs ever.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
If you want to check out what MK Ultra was more about, I'm pretty sure there was a podcast episode in it, I think, from Stuff You Should Know. It's probably called How MK Ultra Worked. It was years ago, but it's one of those ones that stuck with me.
Oh,
go check that out, because that is a really... Well, the whole podcast they do is better than this one. It's really good. It's really well produced, and they tackle a different subject every episode, but they did a really good one on MK Ultra. I think they mentioned in that one how they would have people from black communities come in to clinics with, like, syphilis.
Yes.
And they would give them pills that did nothing because they really wanted to just study these diseases.
Yeah. Yes, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, I think.
That's a band name for you.
Yeah.
That's an escort. Hey, I've just nicked something from Stuff You Should Know. They always come up with band names. I'll stay away from that. I'm not treading on toes. Right. That's a cool story. If there's a government scheme out there giving out free drugs, let us know.
Yeah. Master of the Macabre.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll go back to you. It's time for Master of the Macabre. And how many what do we call them? Nominees are you putting forward?
I've got 2 nominees for this one.
All right, you do one, I'll do one, you do one, I'll do one. They might be the same. So it
Okay, I'm going to go with Michael Goff.
Yeah,
Played
okay.
Dr. Storm.
Yeah.
He's my first. I like him.
Okay, well, he's one of mine. The other one I have is Skip Martin.
Yeah, Skip Martin. Little man with a funny little name.
That's a cool name. I quite like that name.
Yeah, but for a little man, it's quite funny.
Well,
It's
yeah,
quite
actually,
apt, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause he can't really walk. He skips everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're
Skip
not
Martin
getting
sounds like a
downloads.
20s hustler.
Yeah, it does. But then you're thinking, oh shit, Skip Martin's coming around. He's knocking on my door. He's coming for money. He knocks on the door. You open it. No one's there. And then you look down. Oh shit.
Hey, you're going to have to be dealing with Skip Martin, see?
Exactly. Sounds like a gangster. And then it's actually someone who could bite you in the knee. Without bending
would
down.
I was going to say, I could bite you in the knee, but I wouldn't. So, okay, you take one of your guys. Bite him on the knee.
I like Dr. Storm. He's weird. The fact that he's that weird sort of... Turns out he's that weird sort of melty body man because of the whole fire.
And that mask that's terrible.
The mask... I mean, he looks good when you don't think it's a mask. And then he's...
It's a bit
He
the
was
end
like-
of Robin's wearing that mask at the end as a joke. And it's
yeah,
just,
and he's quite creepy. Like, I used to be attractive to a lot of women. All right,
yeah.
Alfred, calm down. And he's a horrible, melty body man because he ran a zoo, didn't he? For a human experiment, he called it zoo.
Yeah.
Something to do with sex. He had them horrible, weird
and you
rolling
saw some
around.
wang.
Yeah, there was a little bit of willy there, wasn't there? Which is surprising.
By the
I
way,
thought there'd be
Michael
more.
Goff, we keep calling him Alfred. That's because he was Alfred Pennyworth in Batman Returns, as well as the later Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yes, the Tim Burton ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got him down because he was just better than everyone else.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
good.
massive benchmark to try and beat, but his performance wasn't bad at all. It was like it wasn't a shining example of acting prowess, but he did well with the script he was given.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I mean, he's done better stuff, but he's the best in this film, I reckon. Probably he does do the evil British man voice quite well.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
But Skip Martin, I don't have much of a reason to be honest, except I quite liked him. I felt bad for his character at points, so I'll kind of attribute that to his acting. He was dry and quite funny in parts.
Yeah.
I liked him serving food in the kitchen while he was making food in the kitchen to take to Jason and Abraham in their cell before he knocked those guards out.
Yes.
And that weird green absinthe
Absolutely.
for the guards to knock him out. I mean, I'd probably fall down like that after necking through a straw a load of absinthe.
No, you'd be more alert. It's the opposite effect of
Okay.
of alcohol.
I had to try more drugs. He looked disgusted at the food, but also like he was quite enjoying his job.
Gruel or something,
His
wasn't it?
scheming, yeah.
Don't know
What
what
is-
it was.
How many times has been eaten already, eh?
That's true. It looked like it'd been.
That's what he, that's Robin's line, I think. Jason's, sorry. I liked that his hat kept coming off. And he just kept dealing with it. I don't think it was meant to at all, but it was a bit of comedic relief. Bodies, I think.
Maybe they should got him a bigger hat.
Or stuck it down.
Yeah.
I just think even when he climbed out the window, his hat fell off. When he was moving the bodies to climb up to the thing, his hat fell off. But
I
it's
get
funny.
Yeah, they made him dig that grave as well. Like the smallest person in the gang, and they made him dig the grave.
But he's
not
just a
digging
dog's
6
body, isn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
He's just... No one else is going to do it.
He's got some good lines as well, I think.
Yep.
Don't forget to brush your teeth.
Yeah, he was weird obsessed with people brushing their
Yeah, he
teeth.
said that 2 or 3 times, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a good impression again there. One day I might compile all the impressions.
Dr. Storm had a good line as well, I think. It was, what did he say? When Jason's running away, he shouts, "It's no use, Jason, you won't get very far." But then he whispers it again, which I thought was weird.
It's no good, Jason. You won't get very far.
Yeah, why shout and whisper? Should have put that in Frights and Delights as a fright. never mind.
You just said it was a good line.
Yeah, but like in a bad way.
Yeah,
because
there was
it
no
shouted and
yippee-ki-yay
whispered.
moment in this.
No.
I think after the bad guy died, Judy just got out of the car and screamed and fell into his arms, and I think that was like basically the last line of the film was Judy screaming.
So I'm saying I'm not gonna rape you is the yippee-ki-yay line.
Yeah, but you got to have just killed someone or beaten someone.
That's true. Also, pomegranate for breakfast. Did you notice that?
No.
Ah, Storm has pomegranate for breakfast.
Okay.
That's how the other half live.
Okay.
And an absinthe.
Who are you picking?
Oh, I want to pick Skip.
I want to pick Skip.
Skip it is. Skip on down, little man.
Is he going to skip over and pick up his medal that doesn't exist? Is he even alive anymore? This is 40 odd years ago.
God, I don't know. Might not be. Well done, Skip. Apparently, he was the most fun on set as well. Like, he was always up for something. He was always up for a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, well, live where you can, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Skip, your medal is in the post to your estate, however big or small it may be.
Yeah, just relatives.
Yes.
Did you say big or small the estate because of the whole dwarf thing, or was that
No,
because he
nah.
wasn't actually very prolific as an actor?
No, not at all. He's been in loads of things. He was in a Vincent Price thing, The Mask of the Red Death he was in.
Alright, okay.
With our Lord and Saviour.
Let's do the Madhouse rating.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Madhouse rating system.
So, here we go with the Madhouse rating system for this film, Horror Hospital. First up, tension and suspense.
Right, so it's not brilliant.
Nope.
The attempted first jump we get is the station master walking briskly around a corner
Yeah.
and saying, "Your tickets, please."
Yeah.
It felt like bad amateur dramatics. The only bit of suspense I really felt was actually kind of building up any suspense was when Judy was walking around the clinic looking for Jason after he had his recce.
Yeah. Look about.
And that's alright. She discovers the room full of patients, does some brilliant scream acting. It cuts to her screaming way too many times. I think they used the same shot a few times as well. It's like 7 times, and then she runs away screaming, and then the tension's over. Screaming as women were meant to do back in the day in films rather than actually doing anything. So, you've got anything on tension, suspense?
I think there's a very, very, very tiny bit of it. Watching it now, you know what's going to happen. They're eventually going to turn out to be part of Storm's experiments. They're trying to escape. I think that's a little bit tense, but I think you know where it's going to go. I think you know they're going to escape. They're going to get out. So I think that kind of in films nowadays, there's a twist. I don't think there was a twist in this. So I think the suspension builds up, but you know at the end of it, everyone's going to be all right, except poor Millie, baby.
Yeah, oh, Millie. And I'm going to be nice here and give them one more. The fight scenes had an amount of tension. Well, that amount's not a big amount, but it's there. Mostly because I was trying to figure out at what point Jason started bleeding from his arse, but you said it's a patch.
I think it's a patch, but
It does look like he's bleeding from his arse.
I think he might have sat in bubblegum at the train station. That might be
maybe.
or a wet
but
patch.
The fights are one of the few times there's actually a musical score throughout the film, which I'll get into later.
Okay.
So that we've got to give it. We choose to give it a star. I don't want to give it a star for tension and suspense.
Nah, no star.
And I know we usually look at them through the forgiving lens of this was made 40 years ago, but even there's so many films around at this time that do it so much better.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 73. Do you know? It's not the 30s and figuring stuff out.
Yeah. I think there's better films in the 70s that did it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could pick horror films,
Yeah.
not even just across the whole thing, there are
Yeah.
literal films doing this same thing better.
Right. Number 2. gore and visual effects.
Right, the first bit of gore is right off the bat, isn't it? When Frederick pulls the flimsy lever, releasing the Bond villain-esque blade from the car.
Yeah.
Chops off the heads of the 2 escapees from the clinic. We had a couple of runaways this morning. Now, slightly skipping over the fact that you would need both victims to be running exactly the right height in single file for this weapon to work in any way as it did.
Yeah.
The effects here are kind of okay. It's not winning any awards, even for the 70s. Headless bodies on the floor, clearly people with their real heads like stuffed into a prosthetic shoulder type thing. I paused it to have a look because I just couldn't. It looked bad, and I was like, sure, it's not that bad. Like, no, it is. It's that bad.
Now, I like it.
Okay.
I like these kind of effects. I think they've done well with what they've got. The blood is bright red. I think there's something in when you some sort of rules when you're putting out a film to get you a certain rating. If the blood is overly red or overly a different colour to natural blood,
Okay.
it gets a different rating. I think that's correct. I'm not sure. I'm sure Evil Dead changed the colour of their blood to get a different rating.
All right.
Maybe they didn't do it in the 70s. But yeah, I like that. You get it throughout pretty much all the Hammer horror films. The blood is bright red. I quite like that. It's nice.
I don't
little
mind the
touch.
bright red blood, and I think I know what you're talking about with the effects being done. But it's just that thing where I've just seen it done better. It felt like
Yeah. Well, yeah.
a bit rushed. Not rushed is the right way. I don't really know.
The
It
zombies
just didn't
are
do
a
it for me. I like the campy horror films with the effects that are practical effects for the time.
Yeah, the zombies and that they looked a bit rubbish. We don't know. Well, we don't know if they're
The
actually
humanoids is what they called, which I thought was just a name
Humanoids.
for a species that was humanoid.
Yeah, had arms, legs, and legs.
Yeah, they're not bad for the time.
Nah, I think they could have done better makeup.
In terms
on
of
them,
the scar, yeah, I was just gonna say the white makeup to seem drained was a bit just too
it's just like, oi, why have you got?
easy.
Yeah, you've just got snazaroo on you. You
Yeah,
don't blend it in. You've just done a bit of you've just done a bit rubbish.
yeah.
But I like the
The scars on the head, they're alright.
they're alright. Yeah, yeah. And when you see them a bit later and they've got the stitches in them.
And personally, at the point I saw that when I went down for dinner the first time, that's the time I'm leaving. I'm not going back up to my room.
Yeah.
Right.
The bit where Storm's cutting open Millie's head and there's a tiny little bit of brain popping out.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
Could
yeah.
be brain, could be ball bag. I don't know. Could be a bloody ball bag.
Yeah.
Skip rocks up, doesn't he, with calves' brains. They've never had a thought in them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Virgin brains.
Right. So visual effects. I want to talk about that gym.
Yes.
Dr. Storm. There's all this money for a large stately home clinic, state-of-the-art computers, some staff, goons with motorbikes. But his gym, where he trains his human robot things, the main area to test like his brilliance of creation, is a small room with 2 of those vaulting horses with a few loose weights and 3 climbing bar wall thingies. It looks like a school gym in a third world country.
Well, it looks like a school gym.
Maybe like
England.
70s.
Yeah.
But well, actually, yeah, it looks shit. Anyway,
It
if
looks
you're investing all that money, I mean, maybe you just run out when he got to the gym. I don't know, but no, he's got all this cash floating about, obviously from somewhere.
Yeah, we never get really into why or how that they are controlled by the flip of a switch either.
Yeah, because he says like backflip, and she flicks a switch, and they do
Yeah.
a backflip, and it's like
Yeah.
one of those the Star Wars original series type computers where it's just flashy lights and random buttons. Nothing's labelled. It's dangerous when nothing's labelled.
Yeah, also, she flicks the same button a couple of times and different people do it, which I thought was weird.
Oh yeah.
I thought, like, one switch would do, like, Justin.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
The other switch would
Or
do
you need to change radio frequency to
Yeah.
control a different person.
Pablo. The other one will do bloody Jennifer, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Whatever
you
the
go.
name is. I mean, the blob monster thing,
Yeah.
it's actually not that bad. Robbery.
Robbery Man, yeah.
But like I said earlier, through the forgiving lens of time, It's alright. It's just freaky enough.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm saying give gore and visual effects a star, because I think they've done alright with that.
Yep. I have one more, though.
Oh, okay. Shit, sorry.
This is only for people to check out if you feel, after our amazing review here, to go and watch it. At the 1 hour, 25 minute, 37-second mark, the house is on fire after they've destroyed the lab. Apparently, destroying the lab sets random parts of the whole place on fire. Anyway, At this point, you can see a smoke canister that's not meant to be seen.
Oh.
That's just giving off. It's a canister just giving off the smoke that's meant to be a fire. Bit sloppy. Just wanted to point that out. That's where rating effects and.
Okay, yes, good shout.
But if you want to give it a star,
I'm saying let's give that one a star, because I like all the red blood, the head's coming off.
just enough for effort, not necessarily outcome.
Okay, yeah. Star for effort. Right, here we go. Number 3 for performance.
All round, the performance in this film is questionable. We don't do an award for bad acting. We don't do a shithead of the macabre.
Yeah.
But if we did,
Okay.
it would go to this man. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Early on, there's a nameless man in the club when the band's playing. Jason comes over with his nose bleeding, and the girl says, no, sorry, this guy goes, have you been snorting coke again, Jason? And then the girl says, Jason, you should get away for a while. And then this guy, Nobel Prizes must be in the post, by the way, he goes,
Camera full onto his face.
yeah, just straight dead on. It's
Zoom
really
in,
weird.
Right on.
Yes, Jason, get away to the country for a few days. You could do with a rest.
Oscar.
Yeah.
And that man turned out to be Robert De Niro. Well done, Rob.
Yeah. He was shit out of the macabre awarded in the post. It's not Robert De Niro, by the way, if you don't watch it. It's yeah. I mean, some terrible fight scenes, but 73. Done in quite a normal style for the time, but even for the time, they're quite badly choreographed and performed. It's the same year that Live and Let Die came out, with Roger Moore.
Oh, okay.
Roger Moore starts doing all his bad karate chop, dodgy fighting style that's very James Bond, pre-Brosnan, I guess. Yet, Live and Let Die and many other Bonds, they make it work better than this.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
It's a dated look, that fighting. It's very choreographed. But it doesn't. This film doesn't manage to age well with it.
No,
And I have my doubts that it even looked good at the time.
Yeah, like we say, we like to put ourselves back in that moment. And
It's hard to do with this because that's the fighting style of the time. But that's the reason I mentioned that Live and Let Die is because that's a brilliant film.
yeah,
And the fighting in there doesn't take anything away from it. But with this, it's prolonged as well. They have a fight, someone wins, and then they run away and catch him again. And it happens like 3 times. And
you're right.
And it just got to me. I will say this caveat here. I've seen this film 3 times. First time I was like, it was bad, but it was fun. Second time was the first time watching it for this after I'd chosen it as a choice. And I'm like, is it just bad? Nah, it's still fun. Third time I was like, for fuck's sake, can't believe I've got to watch this again. So what have you got? You got anything for performance?
Do you know what? I like Skip Martin. I like the way he played his character. I don't know if it was bad acting or it was just creepy and weird.
Creepy dryness, I think.
Yeah, and he was just having fun with it and going with it. I think he was alright. Dr. Storm he did good. I think he was alright. Yeah. Judy, I mean, she got her kit off, so
That's not acting, it's taking the clothes off. I know one can do that.
that's true.
Skip,
scrap that one.
I got Skip Martin. The other note is when he was playing up with the bodyguards was hilarious, and just a few bits.
Yeah,
I think he genuinely struggled to move the bodies, and maybe it was they had to move their own weight.
Yeah,
after they realised that the script was a bit ridiculous of him moving them. I mean, Skip's the master of the macabre for this film. It's not a high bar to reach, but he did alright.
It's very it's dry, isn't it? It's very dry.
Yeah.
acting.
I'd want to watch more of his films to
Yes.
to see
Yeah.
what this performance was, whether it was his usual style, whether he was going for a dry. He could be a completely different character in another film, which means this is just his acting was going for a certain thing.
Well, I mean, I've seen Skip in other films, and I've seen Michael Gough in other films. Batman, and we know he's great in that. I've not seen anyone else in the other films, so I can't
Skip's
comment
taken
on
the
them.
car, sir.
So there's a lot of dry, but maybe that was, I don't know, it's low budget and stuff. Maybe that's alright. It's like if we were in a film now, but I imagine ours would be quite dry.
Yeah, but then we get a bad review for our acting because we're not very good.
Okay. You giving it a star?
I don't want to. You want to give it a star?
No.
No?
No.
So what is that? 1 out of 3?
1 out of 3. So next up is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's music score / sound effects.
So in this film, we get some cliched stabbing brass sounds when something's meant to be shocking. Someone's jumping out. It's done. I could give the benefit of the doubt here and say because there isn't much music.
No.
You could give the benefit of the doubt and say the director used the absence of music and utilized the silence to create an atmosphere of mystery, and the space left where the score would be is purposely left there to represent the void left in the minds of Dr. Storm's patients and the lack of hope in Judy and Jason's situation. I think the truth really is they weren't giving much thought to it and the budget was tight. There's not much there. I mean, when Abraham turns up, there's some dodgy music playing. I wasn't sure if it was now turning into like a light-hearted 70s cop show crossed with Grange Hill as he sauntered up to the house with all the swagger of like a collar-popping 70s cop.
Yeah, I'm looking for my chick.
Yeah, smashing my laptop against the mic.
Sorry.
So, but I think that's all I have on music. There wasn't much to go on,
I
to be
don't
fair.
think it's the best one in the 70s for sound effects.
There wasn't a score, really.
Nah, there was a little bit, but
In the fight scene, sorry, I had some music over the top.
yeah. But there's a little bit, but I think there's better out there. I'm going to say nada.
Yeah, I don't even think it gets anywhere near a star for just lack of effort. No
Yes.
star for lack of effort. Even do some, like if you're stretched, hire a studio, do some whistling, get some atmosphere around the back.
Yeah. Pop a mic out into
Maybe
the
not.
forest, see what happens. Bit of wind. Anyway, Fumph. Overall experience.
Is that 1 out of 4 so far?
So far, it's 1 out of 4.
I'm not giving it a star.
For overall experience, you're not giving it a star.
Well, I'm expecting you to give it a star, so it's a half. Compromise.
I enjoyed watching it twice. I thought it was... I did enjoy it because I like that kind of sort of... I'm going to say naff sort of film. I've got... You've seen my shelf.
After I'd seen this film once, I'd have given it a star. Because it was enjoyably bad.
Yeah, I think...
Which some films do on purpose, and
Yeah.
I think they tried to do it on purpose, but for me, they missed a bit.
Okay. I didn't sit through it with my hand in my head in my hand.
No, finish that first sentence first.
I mean, because that shower scene didn't last long enough.
No.
That gourmet face came in. No, I'm not going to rape you.
And then proceeds to force himself on it.
I enjoyed it. But again, like I keep saying, I think there are better ones in that area of time.
That's my point. I know what they were going for,
better.
but other films did it better and they missed, I think. But if you want to go, I mean, it's a 1 out of 5 at the moment. If you want to give it one, do you think it's 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 or 1.5
I think it's
out of
1
5?
out of 5. I think
Okay.
it's 1 out of 5. So it was called Horror Hospital, but the other name was Computer Killers.
That would have made more sense if they were controlled with a computer, but Horror Hospital is a really
yeah.
good name, but then it wasn't even a hospital. It was supposed to be a holiday getaway resort.
I thought it was a health clinic.
And then you get there, and then it's supposed to be... Yeah, but even a clinic, it's not... Is that a hospital? It's like
Yeah.
really lightweight rehab. It should have been called horror, really lightweight rehab.
Well, there you go. That's it. Nailed down. We're confused by it. Let us know. Was it a hospital? Was it a health clinic? Was it rehab? Fuck,
Do you
who
enjoy
knows?
it?
Yeah. Fuck.
I mean, it's the lowest rated one at 1 star out of 5. What was a star even for in the end? Gore, visual effects.
Gore, because we enjoyed that. Right.
It's time to mosey on over
Mosey.
to listener mail.
Listener mail.
Right, so here we are doing listener mail. I want to mention first, we are obviously running our first ever competition.
Woo!
You can win a Night of the Living Dead poster, Night of the Living Dead on Blu-ray, Night of the Living Dead mug, and all you have to do is email us at themadhousepodcast@outlook.com. Let us know what your favourite horror film is and why, and then if you win, we'll do an episode of that film as well.
Oh, you lucky,
We'll
lucky
review
people.
it for you. So do that. Get in touch with us at the madhousepodcast@outlook.com. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
And our listener mail today is one of the entries we've had so far.
Oh, hello.
From Jeff North. He emailed in saying, "Hey Jimmy and Joey." I've asked for permission to read these out, by the way.
Hello.
Just finished listening to the latest episode and really enjoyed it. My favourite horror film, open bracket, one of anyway, close bracket, is 2008's Pontypool. You know it?
I do know it, yes. Good film.
He says, don't know if you've seen it or heard of it. Not your standard horror films. It's all set within a radio station and it relies on your imagination. I like a good book.
Yep.
And I like a good book. Anyway, he didn't say that, by the way. That's me saying it. He said, anyway, this is why I really enjoy it, and I've repeatedly rewatched it since first seeing it about 5 years ago. Thanks, good luck. No, she doesn't say good luck. Looking forward to the next episode. I emailed back saying thanks for getting in touch and entering our awesome competition. Can I read your email out? He said, yes, it's fine to read the email out. I went and actually did a bit of research on Pontypool and found out it's based on a book called Pontypool Changes Everything. And they're doing a sequel and a spin-off, which I'm very excited about. Cheers, Jeff. So thanks, Jeff, for getting in touch and letting us know your name has been written down and put in a hat.
Lovely.
And it will be...
Is it top hat?
I haven't really put in a hat yet. I don't know, could I? Probably a Pete Cat when I do it.
Or pork pie?
Yes, we'll have a pot pie hat. We'll put all your names in it, everyone who's entered. Thank you very much so far for everyone who has.
Sweet. I did watch Pontypool probably about 5 years back as well, and it's one of them films where the name really doesn't give anything away, which is good.
It means nothing to me, Pontypool. I've not seen it.
Exactly,
I've not even heard of this
but then
film.
you got to watch it, and it really is a good.
That'll be
it's
an interesting
good
one because
film.
you've seen it and I haven't. So,
Good film.
the winner will be picked, by the way, on episode 10 when we're starting our what would you call it? Our series on George A. Romero
series.
films.
Yeah.
Every 10th episode, we're going to do the next film he was involved with. We haven't decided whether that means he directed it or had a hand in writing it yet. I think it was everything has been involved with. It takes us
Basically.
to episode 200,
Yeah.
so settle down for that. It's going to take a while. But yeah, first one's going to have these prizes, and that is the end of horror at the place that's not a hospital, maybe a rehab clinic, was initially a Harry Holiday
Harry
that a
Holiday.
predatory guy sent you to. That would honestly be a bit of a long name for this, but we are done for the day, right?
Yeah.
That's sorted. So email us for your entries for our competition at the madhousepodcast@outlook.com. Please rate this podcast and this episode if you can. I don't know if you can do it individually. Subscribe, share it with your friends. Get in touch with us on Facebook. Check out the page, The Madhouse Podcast. Check us out on Instagram at The Madhouse Podcast. And obviously, I've said it a few times, email us at themadhousepodcast@outlook.com. And I've just realised Jimmy hasn't chosen a film yet.
Okay, so here we go. So it's good to add a little variety to it. Do you
That's
know what I mean?
all purpose for mixing this up.
Right, it's a bit last minute, so here we go. I'm going to read it out. I think you'll get it. So, after An odd new medical student arrives on campus. A dedicated local and his girlfriend become involved in bizarre experiments centering around the reanimation of dead tissue.
Is it Pontypool?
No.
Or the Reanimator?
Yeah, boy!
I got 2 now.
Yes, the 1985 comedy horror slash sci-fi. It's good. Bit
That was slash sci-fi.
Lovecraft.
Nice.
It's gonna be fun.
Do I need to put the music back on for the ending now?
Yeah,
I look
probably,
forward to watching
boy.
that. Right, so here we go. That's the end of the podcast. Definite this time.
Yeah.
Share, subscribe, rate, and all that. Check us out on Facebook at the Madhouse Podcast, Instagram at themadhousepodcast.com, and email us at madhousepodcast@outlook.com. And all that's left now is for Jimmy to say, or whatever it is.
Yeah!
That's the one. See you next time.
Bye! Excuse me, is the next stop Leamington Spa? I'm not gonna rape you! Go on.
That fucker's gonna rape me.
Exactly.